Hi, I'm Mimi Fox, and I'm very excited to share with everyone my arrangement of the beautiful classic America. A lot of people call it America the Beautiful, but just a wonderful tune. And this is from my new album, This Bird Still Flies, my new acoustic project. And I'm doing this lesson for Acoustic Guitar Magazine. So I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I'm doing in the song and how I sort of came up with my arrangement and some of the, there's some what we call stretchy chords in it that might be a little challenging at first, but I'm going to show you some ways hopefully to practice these chords so you can get them under your fingers. So one of the song is in D major, my arrangement, and one of the first chords you'll see, believe it or not, this chord, which looks kind of hard, actually is just a version of, it's kind of a version of a D chord with an E, or a D add 2 or add 9. So what I'm doing is, here's the D chord right there. Some of you might know your bar chord. And I'm adding the 9 right here with my pinky, and then using the open D string to get a nice sound. Sometimes I go down to the half step below the A, which is the sharp 11 of the chord, just for a little bit of color and a little bit of tension. Okay, so that's one of the main chords that I'm using in the song, and you'll notice that. And sometimes I use that note. I'm playing the D major and the D Lydian scale for my improvisation, so that's going to give me all these notes, D, E, F sharp, G, sometimes the G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G again, G sharp, A. In fact, I think one of the lines that I do, I think I use both the G natural, which is the 4 of the key of D, the G sharp, which is the sharp 11 for a little color, and then resolve to the A. So, just something to think about. There are different choices in scales. There's nothing wrong with the D major scale. That would give you this. But the D Lydian, with just that one note change to the G sharp, adds a lot of nice color. So, that's something that, that I thought you guys would be interested in exploring. Then you'll notice that there, at one point in the song, I have what I call a pedal tone, which I'm using. I'm keeping a B here with my pinky, and this may also seem like a little bit of a stretch, but it's actually fairly comfortable. So I'm playing the B chord here again. That's the bar chord that some of you folks may know, but I'm playing it with my first finger, using the B here, and then I'm able to move the triads. So I've got B with the B pedal, C, and then D, which I play as with the harmonics to create this kind of lush sound. So it fleshes out the sound. Okay, so that's another thing that I'm doing that might be curious to you guys, and maybe something you haven't done yet. But you can see that by keeping a pedal point, you're able to create some nice movement, and then the addition of the harmonics just fleshes out the sound in kind of a cool way. So that's something that I'm doing. Another thing that I'm doing at one point is I'm moving down. So the melody goes da da dee da, and I didn't want to, it's all basically over the same chord, over the A, over the 5 chord of the song. So I've got, and so I'm playing an A7 flat 9 with an A bass. This is another version. This chord is movable based on the diminished theory. And then I'm just playing a double stop of an A and a B, and then back to here with a double stop with a G and an A. So that was my way to harmonize that instead of having to do that. See. There's different ways I could have gone, but this way I added some color by keeping that the flat 9, the A7 flat 9 sound. See, there's a B flat there, that's the flat 9, and then when I go here, here's the B flat. There's the flat 9 there. And then, because the note is a B, I couldn't have the B flat in the chord, so I harmonize it with the A. So there are always different ways as an arranger that you can get around a tricky melody section and figure out how to make it cohesive. So playing these chords, I wanted to say, so playing some of these stretchy chords, I wanted to mention something that if you have trouble with this chord, try playing it higher. So here's the D add 2 that I was talking to you about. What about if we play it up here? Why don't we go all the way up here to the 12th fret, if you hopefully, some of you have a cutaway or can get up here, or to the 10th fret, so at A or G. Switch the bass if you're on an A chord, but so if you try it higher, and you'll notice that I have my thumb here. Sometimes my thumb is a little lower, but my thumb is acting as a pivot and helping me to position that chord. Try not to throw your bicep into the chord. I see a lot of folks do this, students. That's not an effective way to play the guitar. So try to get everything from the flexibility and strength in your fingers, okay? So that you do this. By the way, this chord is a very useful chord. I could make this minor by lowering the third 1 fret. So it's a very good chord to have, and it is movable. You can move it to any fret. The use of the bass note you choose then would change, of course, depending on what you're doing, but it's a very versatile type of chord. So again, a kind of stretchy, what we call a stretchy chord shape, but well worth getting under your fingers. Always good to stretch your hands out if it's new to you. Give your hands a good stretching, and and then come back and work with this, because it's a lot of fun. You'll notice that I'm using a mixture of some jazz, what I would think of as more jazz chords, and then some old basic folk chords. At one point I've got to walk down from the G, which is a very common thing used in folk music. Again, I'm playing the 9 in the E minor there rather than just this. I could have done, but listen to how much more colorful it is with the 9. See that, and it gives a little bit of breath to what I'm doing. And then I do the same thing here with the D, to walk down with the D. D, C sharp, B, to the B7 chord. So this is a common So that's a fairly common walk down, and you can play it in different areas of the neck, but in this case I'm just playing it right in the open position here, and it's a good thing to have under your fingers. So you might notice that the version that I just played is different than what's on the recording. So it'll be different than the notation by a few sections where I'm improvising. For example, over the D major, or the E major, I might be playing something different than what's on the recording because I am an improvising musician. So there might be slight variations, but the essential arrangement I kept. And so hopefully that's what you guys will work on. And I'm hoping that with some of the ideas that I've given you with the different scales and these shapes, you'll be able to do some improvising of your own. While I encourage you to take some chances and try improvising, even if you're new to it, just a little bit, like maybe just a few notes around the chord is a great way to start, but it's also perfectly legitimate to just take my arrangement. I give you permission to do this. Take my arrangement and just play it as is and as what's written, and that is totally, totally acceptable. But if you're inspired and want to try improvising, well, that's cool too.